like you guys know that like so far I've been pretty like, kind to Kirkman's run. Like I think it's
Yeah.
for the most part a big improvement on like Daniel Warren Johnson's run. And I think because it is, yeah, it blatantly is. But I don't know, like I feel like Kirkman, like, okay, like I guess spoilers for like this last issue. Like, I mean, Megatron brutally kills Trailbreaker at the end of this last issue, and I was kind of like, I don't know, it you know me, I'm like an armchair like amateur writer, so like I kept thinking that about that. Like when I first read it, I was like, oh, what the hell? And then the more I thought about it, I was just kind of like, the writer in me was kind of like, that's what I call like a missed swing. Why? Again, I'm not a professional writer, but like if I was in his position, I think I told you, Derek, I would have substituted Beachcomber in that scene. And like, I feel like maybe Beachcomber was intended to be in that scene originally because, it's just Trailbreaker wandering off in the woods when he should be like, responding to the mission call by Optimus or whatever, like, which seems like something Beachcomber would do. And then, he gets murdered by Megatron, who like rips him in half and like drinks his like energon and like eats his spark or something. I don't know, because Kirkman like had to give in to his like Walking Dead / Invincible like bloodlust or whatever. Which, when we talked about Daniel Warren Johnson's first arc, Derek, you were saying like that scene where they rip Skywarp apart was like, oh, that's really Walking Dead-ish or whatever. Well, this is. I guess that was like Diet Walking Dead, because this is like real like Walking Dead, like gore or whatever. But I don't know. I just thought like if it was if like that issue, I would have been fine with that entire issue if that was Beachcomber who died, because, well, first of all, Trailbreaker hasn't done anything in this continuity yet. He showed up and he's been a part of the group and he hasn't done anything. So right there, he's relying on any kind of nostalgic fondness you have for the character to like feel bad for him instead of what he's actually done in the story. So if Beachcomber was there at the very, you and me, Derek, we probably don't like Beachcomber very much as a character, but
yeah, but that's not the point. You're saying he's actually had a character arc and people do like him, so it would actually have impact if that was the person that you killed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that's the writer part of me. I was like,
if it was up to me, I would have had him kill Shredhead. But either way, no, seriously, either way, both those characters have done more than Trailbreaker has, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So like, and again, Beachcomber would fit in that scene. He would be the one admiring nature instead of like showing up for the mission or whatever. And like, I can't help but like, maybe it'll come out. Maybe Kirkman will say something. Oh, like, oh, I was originally going to kill Beachcomber, but then someone said I shouldn't. Or maybe he's scared of like Daniel Warren Johnson fans will like get on his ass if he kills Beachcomber or something. But I don't know, like Kirkman's never going to be my favorite writer or anything, but I've always had respect for how, he's very unrestrained in his storytelling. Like he, be it violence or whatever, like if he does something shocking in Walking Dead or Invincible, it's like, you're usually like, oh, wow, I can't believe he went there, basically. But, killing Trailbreaker like that, it was like the facade of that shock without the actual impact of it, basically. Like he had all the gore and viscera and whatever, and like it was a shocking moment of violence, someone suddenly died, but there was nothing behind it. Like we don't, if you're just reading this comic, would you really care about Trailbreaker at this point? Like probably not. Like, I mean, he hasn't done anything. Like, and I don't know, I was just I was thinking back, this is also a like parallel, I guess, to like almost 10 years ago when James Roberts killed Trailbreaker off gruesomely, like in More Than Meets the Eye. But the difference was he built Trailbreaker up for like, months and months and months. Trailbreaker had his own spotlight issue, and when he did die, you were like, holy shit, like, oh my God, he killed Trailbreaker. Like after, he had built him up. And then like Trailbreaker's death had an impact. And like, Megatron even like used his force field projector in like the final battle against like the DJD or whatever. So there was a plan in killing Trailbreaker. So I mean, I gotta wait till the next issue to see if there's any further, plans, that Kirkman has, but I doubt it. Like, I doubt he has any further plans for Trailbreaker's, like, vivisected corpse or whatever. But I don't know. Like, Justin, you said you kind of liked the issue, but like, do you have any like thoughts about that? Or
other than his death, like, I thought that the issue was fine. Like, it has been a major improvement. Like, I look forward to reading it every month, whereas I think I quit reading Daniel Warren Johnson's run after like issue 4 or something. I was just like, this is not my thing. Like, I'm not into this. Ever since Kirkman took over, like, I've looked forward to reading it every month. And this was the first misstep because I saw that scene. I was like, gruesome. And I was like, oh, poor Trailbreaker. Like, he hasn't done anything. And then when you said it should have been Beachcomber, I was like, yeah, absolutely. It should have been Beachcomber. Like, that would have made more sense for the narrative. Like, other than just the shock value of, anyone can die at any moment, as Joe Bob Briggs would say. Like, I don't get it.
I think this was more about Megatron, and I spent too much time thinking about it because I was the guy saying, oh, you should have had Megatron show up a long time ago. Megatron needs to be a badass, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like this is semi-course correction, semi-over adjustment, because all I can think about is Megatron wasn't in the first 25 issues because of Daniel Warren Johnson's stupid fucking arc. And then they had to explain why he wasn't there and why Optimus Prime needed to have Megatron's dumb hand and hand cannon for the whoa, it's so cool fucking nonsense, right? Well, where's the rest of Megatron? The rest of Megatron was getting his ass whooped by Globulus and Cobra Law, right? So that doesn't really make him seem all that impressive, right? And then it's like, well, what else happened to Megatron? He was off fighting the trials of all these fucking Quintessons. So you're still dealing with, in a roundabout way, I think, this dumb Daniel Warren Johnson shit, which is Megatron has post-traumatic stress from having fought all those stupid Quintesson trials. And he, unlike, say, someone who can healthily deal with his trauma and move on, like, Megatron's gone, man. He's fucking eating motherfuckers. And then that splash page at the end looks like some asshole spooged on his fucking face and looks dumb, right? However, I do agree with Justin. I actually do. I've returned to looking forward to reading a Transformers comic as opposed to just actively ignoring it. So
yeah,
for whatever that's worth.
It is a vast improvement, I feel like. And like, even like,
if I'm going to be fair, because I told you guys this and I don't think I've said it on air, but that moment in the moment where Prime has that self-awareness that he's like, oh, sometimes I can be overly kind to people that don't deserve it. Like, I was like, oh, finally. That was like the first time in 2 years that Optimus Prime sounded like fucking Optimus Prime to me. Do you know what I mean? Where it wasn't just this kind of, I don't know, wishy-washy fucking whatever the fuck was going on in that book. But anyway, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, like, I just wanted to get that off my chest, just because, I don't know, it's one of those moments where, as like I said, being an amateur writer myself, I was like, man, that was such an obvious swing that you missed, like Kirkman, basically. And I'm wondering if there's more, like, it's such an obvious swing. I'm wondering if there's more behind the scenes to it or something like that. Maybe that was supposed to be like Beachcomber or someone else, and they just like, okay, just throw in Trailbreaker instead. Or
yeah, they could have gotten cold feet over, maybe the word got around about all the positive reception that Beachcomber got, because it's not. I mean, I know one of my buddies really likes Beachcomber, right, and especially in this run. But I've also heard from another friend, it's like, oh yeah, my daughter likes Beachcomber. Do you know what I mean? Like, in other words, like, I think there's something beyond just it sounds like for all the people that enjoyed Daniel Warren Johnson's run, a lot of that was due to Beachcomber, and thus that made him, at least within the confines of that run, and the people that find that run to be a fan favorite run or whatever you want to call it, right? That group liked Beachcomber. So I feel like it lends credence to your theory, because that's something that sounds like something Kirkman would do. He would take a beloved character from a fan favorite run and then horribly kill them to elicit the shock value. But, in this case, it was essentially a nobody, which also I feel like echoes the stuff I don't like about Daniel Warren Johnson's run. It's like, why the fuck do you care about Bumblebee being dead if Bumblebee didn't fucking do anything? Like, it, and it does fall on people's nostalgia, even though that nostalgia doesn't even apply to this run. It's like you have to know who Bumblebee is because you watched a cartoon 40 something years ago that you have a vague memory of, but you're not actually given anything within the story itself to care about. Like, and the same thing goes for Trailbreaker, right? And it's like that's never worked for me. Like just assuming we know what the Autobot Decepticon war is and all this other stuff. It seems like they glossed over all that shit, and we got all this goofy bullshit with Sparkplug and post-traumatic stress and deers and fucking dumb shit. And then when they did go into backstory, it was all about how Starscream's name was fucking Usul or whatever the fuck it was, and it's like, who cares?
Ulchatar.
Yeah, whatever. Man, yeah. Okay.
I just think I think the thing that really was my take, I guess, and it may not be the hottest of takes, and maybe lukewarm, is the issue itself is fine. I mean, there's the whole RC thing, that's fine. But when they get to the Trailbreaker death thing, I said it earlier on the Discord server, they basically, what Derek said really to me is what it was. It was a Megatron moment. Didn't matter who it was. Didn't matter who it was. They were getting killed. Yeah. And I think maybe it was we're going to do something with Beachcomber. We're going to do something with fucking Shredhead. So pick a name out of the hat, guys. Oh, Trailbreaker. Okay, kill him. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's all it was they really, the course correction for Megatron has to be so much of an overcompensation because of how awful. Think about it this way: if it bugs me that Shockwave kicked Megatron's ass in the original Marvel run, and most people, to your average person, that doesn't bother them, and they just think Shockwave is a badass in the Marvel run, right? Well, how does it sit with all these people that Globulus whooped the shit out of Megatron? And I don't care that his fusion cannon and his right arm was missing. Who cares? Like that. There's, what I mean? That's that kind of stuff. Like starting out with that handicap, it's you have to do something to make him a viable threat. Because otherwise, why don't the Autobots just fucking phone up fucking Globulus and take care of this shit? You know what I mean? It's dumb.
We need Burgess Meredith.
How about that General Flag, guys? That was pretty cool, right?
Oh yeah, fighting Miles Mayhem. Yeah. I see. That's another thing I don't even know. Is Kirkman angling for a mask spinoff, or is he just going to do all these mask subplots in Transformers? I don't know, but.
Well, I mean, G.I. Joe is the highly specialized training task force to take down terrorists. And he just stole a helicopter. He's gone. But they're definitely going with a darker route with masks, though. That venom, that Viper spray, fucking zombified, killed that one soldier. That was rather graphic.
Yeah, like I said, I think Kirkman just kind of finally it was I can't keep it in my pants anymore. I'm going to do all this gore and this or whatever. So.
And that's why Megatron has all that shit over his face.
Yeah. It's Kirkman's gore.
It's Kirkman's spooge.